What's up, everyone? Welcome to MLB Crunch Time. Oh, there's a mess. Better keep that hood up. I am your host, TJ Zwarich, ready to break down tonight's MLB slate with not one, not two, but three of the sharpest minds in the biz. Will Priester will be joining us here shortly. Just had a couple things to take care of before the show, but he'll be on joining us right away and helping us break down tonight's MLB slate as well. We got Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, TJ. Just been hanging out watching the Masters for the last couple days. I think my single entry team is going to cash. I had a 5 out of 6 that looks pretty decent. So I'm hoping I can at least get a little min cash going in the golf streets, and I'm rooting for Rory to take it down.
Me too. I only made one lineup, but I have him in the one lineup I made, and I only got 4 of 6 through, but it's still quite heavily within the cash line right now. Like it's going over it. I got Rory, I got Corey Connors, I have Benny Ann, who had a good day today, and I have Colin Morikawa. So solid 4, but 2 of the guys missed the cut, unfortunately, so not going to be winning any big money for me. And helping us break down today's MLB slate as well, we got Will Priester, we got the Chief. Will, how you doing this evening? Did you play any Masters lineups? How are your teams doing, if so?
I played one, and they're not doing good. It's like I'm in the cash line, but I'm not going to win anything. Like there's plus I had 2 that missed the cut, so by the time tomorrow ends, I probably actually won't even be breaking even. I would assume, because those points are just going to keep piling up, and I'm going to continuously be behind. But it is what it is, man. I treat golf the same way I treat baseball. Like if I got a good feel, I run multiple lineups and try to go from there. You know what I mean? Like golf is high variance like NASCAR. You kind of need. I mean, you can luck into winning $1 million by yourself with one lineup, but I mean, it's like throwing darts in the shade, man. You're going to need some help. You hit it, you're getting lucky. But yeah, all in all, I just kind of played for fun. And I say this every year, like golf is one of my more profitable sports when I actually like grind it out week to week. I just got to start grinding it week to week. But I love baseball too much, basketball and football, and it is what it is.
We got a bit of a weird baseball slate ahead of us. Only 5 games, and what I mean by weird, or I guess 6 on DraftKings, 5 on FanDuel, sorry. But what I mean by weird is we are 40 minutes away from the first game. We're 40 minutes away from first pitch, slate lock, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. And we still don't even have a Pittsburgh Pirates lineup. What are they doing to us? We're only waiting on 2 lineups right now, maybe 3. I think we're still waiting on
Pittsburgh,
Texas,
Cubs, Texas.
Chicago, who are, 940 and 910. And then we're waiting on Pittsburgh, who starts at 6:40, 40 minutes from now. So we should be getting that any minute here. Tim, why don't you give me a little bit of a general overview of what you're doing tonight?
Sure. So it's a smaller slate, like you said, 5 on FanDuel, 6 on DraftKings. I think there's going to be, it's actually a pretty interesting slate. I think there are different ways that you can go about your pitcher selection tonight. Definitely, I think, even though it's such a small slate, I think that there's conceivably, at least on DraftKings, 7 or 8 pitchers that you could go with today. So, I mean, I think that's like, it's a pretty decent pitching slate. And then I think you're going to see some really condensed ownership with hitting today. So I think hitting is where, and of course, hitting is always the more variant of the two between pitching. So I think hitting is where you can go like a little bit more contrarian today, because I think the chalk is really kind of going to condense on a couple of teams.
Agreed, and I'm actually going with a pretty tight pool from a pitching perspective as well. I have a bit of a different strategy than I think when I was writing the expert survey earlier today, just because of how much Brian Woo's ownership, or at least projected ownership, has shot up throughout the day. And so starting at the pitcher position, we'll go to you first. What are you doing tonight at pitching?
So are we talking DraftKings, FanDuel,
Both
both?
together.
Okay, so I think for me, um, hear me out here. I'm probably starting with Kyle Hart. It just seems like he might be some good value in this slate on DraftKings against the Rockies, who, you know, one of the highest strikeout teams in baseball last season. Looks like they're going to be in a similar spot uh, this season so far. And once again, it's early, but I mean, it's not looking good here. And once again, I haven't switched over to like current season numbers exclusively, but just like to give you a reference point here, TJ, not a lot of data, okay? Once again, not a lot of data, but 27% for Tovar, 20% for Farmer, 21% for McMahon. Not that those are high in terms of Farmer McMahon, but just kind of going down the lineup in totality, 36% for Chris Bryant, 42% for Bouchard, 28% for Toglia. Like, you get what I'm saying? Now, once again, we're early. This is limited plate appearances. But last season, 29, 19, 29, 40, 34, 20, like it's still, we seem to be trending towards last season. And maybe this is just who some of these guys are. So I think Hart's a good play on both sides, especially on DraftKings where he's cheap. So I wanted to kind of start there because I feel like, he's the guy that is giving us some salary relief. I mean, 6,300 on FanDuel, and on DraftKings he is 6,400. So not really that big. All right, got that out of the way, TJ. Kyle Hart's where I want to start. At the top, I probably like Burns a bit more than Wu. Maybe I just trust his leash a little bit more. If Brian Wu gets beat around any bit, last season they handled him with kid gloves. I suspect they do something similar. So I'm going to side with Burns up top as a result of that, and that's really kind of my cash game combo on DraftKings. On FanDuel, once again, if I'm going up top, it's probably still Burns. I'm not really thrilled about too many pitchers on this slate, so very defined for me. We'll play Burns or Hart, and that's it. Like, I don't feel like I have to be trying to experiment. Yeah, Kumar Rocker may have some talent, and Wu's definitely probably one of the more stable pitchers, but I still think I trust Burns a bit more than Wu. All that to say, that's how weird this slate is.
Smash the like button for some Spidey Bombs. We are already only 8 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 1. I'll drop Spidey Bomb number 2 because I'm feeling generous today at 75 likes. And then the third one at 100 likes. So keep smashing the like button. More likes we get, more Spidey Bombs we get. Had a little bit of a cold streak, but then guess what? Went 2 for 3 last night. Tommy Edman and Pete Alonso, both Spidey Bombs, both knocked one out of the park. We are back. So make sure you're smashing that like button for some Spidey Bombs. Tim, how about you? Who you playing a pitcher tonight in single entry? And who would you say are the cash options for FanDuel and DraftKings tonight?
On DraftKings, I think that the cash game option is Brian Wu and Kyle Hart. But definitely, I think that in single entry, you could pivot to like a Brian Wu, Andrew Heaney. I think you could go double pay down in any form other than cash. I think you could go Andrew Heaney, Kyle Hart. So I mean, I think that's pretty interesting. I think Andrew Abbott is super interesting also for GPPs. I also really like Chase Dollander at 7,700. I know the matchup is not outstanding, but he's a pretty big time prospect. So I think $7,700 for him on DraftKings is a pretty solid play in any kind of tournament format. Kumar Rocker also at 8,000. I like him quite a bit in GPPs as well. And then on FanDuel, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it kind of depends on what projection system you use. I would say that I'm more comfortable recommending Brian Wu as the FanDuel cash game pitcher. But I've seen quite a few optimals spitting out Kyle Hart as your optimal pitcher as well. I just think that in straight cash games, I would feel more comfortable playing Brian Wu, but I would not fault anybody if they wanted to play Kyle Hart. And then basically it's the same names for GPPs. Again, Dollander at 74, Kumar Rocker at 75. I don't know what you guys are doing with Corbin Burns tonight. I think he's a little bit too expensive, so I would leave him out of my primary pool, but I don't know like what the field's going to be doing. Like I that's just my personal take.
He gets the X button entirely for me just because he has not looked right so far this season. And so he's picking up some ownership. He's at his peak price tag for even if this is Corbin Burns at his best. And so he gets the X button from me tonight. But you are speaking my language with Chase Dollander. Dollander. He is my highest owned pitcher tonight. Absolutely love him for tournaments. Admittedly, I am having a little bit of MLB The Show bias. Chase Dollander has a real good card in MLB The Show, and he's my favorite pitcher to pitch with that's currently on my team. And so I do love me some Chase Dollander, but he is going to be my highest owned pitcher tonight. Love him for tournaments. And I'm building 75 lineups tonight. I'm going to go with 0 Brian Wu, 0 Corbin Burns. I'm going to fade the spend ups on tonight's slate. Let's see where we are at for likes. I know we're definitely going to have at least enough likes for one Spidey Bomb. 68. We're very close to Spidey Bomb number 2 already. I'll drop the second one at 75 likes. So keep smashing the like button. Spidey Bomb number 1 is in this first game, assuming he's in the damn lineup, because we still don't have a lineup for Pittsburgh, and that game is coming in just over a half hour. But Spidey Bomb number 1, you can find him for plus 525 is the best odds I saw. Brian Reynolds is Spidey Bomb number 1. So keep smashing the like button for more Spidey Bomb picks. And then we'll get some taters from Tim. We'll get some home run picks from Will as well as we go along. But all we need you to do is hit that like button. We went 2 for 3 yesterday. Pete Alonso and Tommy Edman, both with bombs. And we're going to keep it tonight going as well. First up, Brian Reynolds. Let's talk about stacks, and then we'll start going position by position here. Will, how many lineups are you playing tonight? You playing FanDuel? You playing DraftKings? And who are you going to be your priorities in terms of stacks?
Playing FanDuel, and I'm just playing one. So just single entry, man. I was a bit busy today, and so when I'm like that, I try not to spread it around too much. I try to just kind of stick in there. So. I do like Cincinnati. I do like Arizona, and these guys will be picking up some ownership. I'm fine with Houston. I think there's enough bats there to get it done. Obviously, okay with the Dodgers, and that's mostly it. So that's pretty much where I am, and I'll go from there.
I like it. We are already at enough likes for Spidey Bomb number 2, so I got it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Number 1, Brian Reynolds. Number 2 at plus 550. We got Mookie Betts. Going to knock one out of the park tonight. Third one coming at 100 likes, so keep smashing that like button. Tim, how about you? We got what's looking like to be a chalky Astros team tonight. They're in a good spot. They're finally facing a left-handed pitcher with that right-handed heavy lineup. Are you going to play them in single entry, or are you going elsewhere?
I'm kind of debating that right now, actually. I haven't made up my mind quite yet. I'm a little bit worried that if you go, like Wu and Hart, like if you play Houston with that, like you're basically building like a cash game team, and like I think you're going to be eating too much aggregate ownership. So I'm just a little bit concerned. So I think if you do play Houston, it kind of depends on like who you're pitching. I would try to get off of some of the chalk pitching if you're going to play the chalky Houston stack. So it really just depends for me about like what you're doing with the rest of the team. Houston to me is clearly the best stack on the board. I would feel most confident with them. They, like you said, they're extremely right-handed heavy going up against Tyler Anderson. So I mean, they are in the best spot on the board. I would say. I do like Arizona quite a bit. I thought that they were going to be getting a little bit more ownership than they are, but I mean, it doesn't seem as high as Houston. So I think Arizona would be my favorite of the pivots away from Houston. Obviously, you can play the Dodgers anytime. They're in a fantastic spot, and then I think Seattle going up against Kumar Rocker, especially if you think Rocker's going to get steamed in ownership. We've got a really nice positive leverage score in our top stacks tool on Seattle. So, I mean, I think Seattle's going to go really, really low owned. So they would be like my favorite, like large field GPP play.
All right, let's start going position by position here. In terms of my favorite stacks, Dodgers are coming in number one for me. I absolutely love the Cubs for tournaments. Sasaki has struggled so far. The Cubs have been the best offense in baseball to start the year, and that's in some terrible weather spots. So I do really like the Chicago Cubs tonight, getting to a ton of them. Should just have a new set of lineups coming in shortly, but I kind of have it Dodgers 1, Cubs 2, then a tier 3 of Houston, the Angels, and the Diamondbacks for me. But I am going to mix in a little bit of Texas, mix in a little bit of Seattle, just because they are going very low owned today as well. Start going position by position. Will, who do you like at the catcher spot tonight?
Oh man, kind of similar to every other slate. It seems like we've been on when we've been on together. TJ, my catcher is mostly going to be part of a stack. Like Cal Raleigh is always a guy that you can get to. But mostly that's what I'm doing. I don't have anybody that I'm like, got to play this guy. Mainly just part of a stack for me. If you get there on FanDuel, on my lineup on FanDuel, I won't have a catcher, admittedly. But if you're on DraftKings, I just put in my catcher as part of the stack.
Well, I was just looking through my lineups, and I have 2 Colorado Rockies stacks in my 75 lineups, and in the outfield in both are Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker, and Corbin Carroll.
It's so easy to pay up for those premium outfielders tonight. It's ridiculously easy to do that.
Yeah, one is Trout, Carroll, and Tucker. The other one is Carroll, Tucker, and Ohtani. And so all of a sudden, those Rocky stacks all of a sudden don't look too bad. Tim, who do you like at catcher?
So for cash games, there's the Pirates lineup, by the way.
Anything weird? Yeah. Connor Falefa leading off.
Yeah.
No O'Neill Cruz.
Okay.
Canario at center field. No. There's McCutchen. So, yeah, basically just Canario in for Cruz and Valdez in for Adam Frazier.
Okay.
So make sure you don't have any O'Neill Cruz in your lineup today, and I think Kiner Falefa all of a sudden looking like a decent play now that he is leading off. Did you finish up at catcher, Tim? If so,
no.
Just the first.
I would say it's Yanier Diaz or Gabriel Moreno as your cash game catchers. I mentioned that I like Seattle for large field GPP, so I don't mind getting to a one-off of Cal Raleigh. Catcher, for the most part, though, is going to be in just this in stacks only type position outside of those 3 guys that I mentioned. Maybe Logan O'Hoppe, but he's really expensive. But Gusto is making his debut, so maybe we could get to like a little mini Angel stack or something like that and throw Logan O'Hoppe in there at 4,900. But really, catcher is just the only in stacks position for me.
All right, take me to first base.
Yeah, so depending on what you want to do with your pitching, it's incredibly easy to play Shohei Ohtani tonight. So you can always play him anytime you feel like it. Christian Walker at 4,200. I believe he's 3,000 on FanDuel. He's probably going to be in your cash game team. I think Pavin Smith is super interesting. He might be better used in the outfield, but it really just, as part of those Diamondback stacks, same thing with Josh Naylor. So 4,700. I'm looking at their home run props right now. I really like them, Naylor and Pavin Smith on DraftKings. I think Pavin Smith and Josh Naylor are both plus 500 right now. I'm thinking about betting those. Spencer Steer,
We are only
3,400.
3 legs away from Spidey Bomb number 3, and so it's worth
Ooh.
telling you that you can get Josh Naylor for plus 560 to hit a home run today, because he is Spidey Bomb number 3 today. So we're on the same page with Naylor and Dollinger tonight.
I'm gonna make Naylor a tater then. He's plus 500 on DraftKings, but yeah, plus 560. That's awesome. So yeah, it's mostly just Walker and I think Naylor or Pavin Smith for cash games though.
All right, Will, how about you? Who do you like at first?
Yeah, I like those guys. I also like Spencer Steer. Once again, I do like Cincinnati also. So, I'm down to get them in there. Gavin Sheets in San Diego, if, you like that game, you think Dollander just doesn't quite get there. And, the San Diego lineup pops off and he's 3,100. But, you got Freddie Freeman here, gets Brown, got Naylor, got Walker. I love those guys. I'm playing Shohei in the outfield, but you can get him at first on DraftKings.
We just got a Chicago Cubs lineup. No Matt Shaw. He's getting the day off today. And Justin Turner looks like he's hopping in there for Matt Shaw at third base today. Didn't even know Turner did anything other than DH or first anymore. But Justin Turner at first base today for the Cubs. Making that adjustment, and then I should be able to get my final set of lineups in here. Will take us over to second, and I'll tell the people I got a 4th Spidey Bum for them if they can get up to 125 likes. So keep smashing that like button.
Sounds good. Definitely playing Jose Altuve in my book. One of the better plays of the night at second base against Tyler Anderson. On the lower end, I'm fine with Jorge Polanco. Batting in 2 spots. He's been batting pretty high up anyway. Against Kumar Rocker. If you like the Dodgers like I do, Tommy Edman is definitely someone you can get to. I think he's just fine. But that's mainly it. I mean, second base isn't as bad as it could be. It's not making me puke on this slate. There are some options, but it's still pretty weak. But out of those guys, I'm definitely playing a couple of them.
Tim, how about you? Who do you like at second?
It's pretty close to making me puke, to be honest with you. I think second base is really bad, especially on DraftKings.
But Tim, we got at least 2 to 3 options. Sometimes we have 0 options. That's what I'm saying.
That's definitely true. And at least on FanDuel, we can at least play Mookie. So I mean, Jose Altuve is definitely the cash game choice. I love playing Mookie at second on FanDuel and GPPs. I mentioned Tommy Edman. He would be the next guy in for me. And then if you want to just punt second base, I think guys like a Tyler Freeman or a Kyle Farmer for super, super cheap are okay as plays just because the position is so weak. So yeah, but I mean, I think in cash games, you're playing Jose Altuve on DraftKings and on FanDuel.
All right, take us to third.
Isaac Paredes is very, very affordable across the industry. He's on that very good Houston team that we've been talking about. He's batting second. He's definitely going to be on your cash game team. He's going to be pretty popular, so if you want to make a faded GPPs, I totally get it. I think I'm going to be playing him on my single entry teams on both sites, just to be transparent. I think I am going to eat the chalk with Paredes today. Some pivots I think are like guys like a Spencer Steer going against Andrew Heaney. If you wanted to spend up just to get different, I don't mind Suarez. I don't mind Machado as interesting pay-ups to be different. And then Noelvi Marte at 3K would be like my favorite cheapie at the position.
All right, Will, who do you like at third?
Yeah, I'm fine with Machado. I'm fine with Eugenio Suarez. Those guys are up top. 2 teams that I do like, but in Paredes at 3,800 on DraftKings, my God, that's got to be the play, right? He's just it just seems like the right play. And I think he's 2,900 on FanDuel, if I'm not mistaken.
He's very playable on FanDuel. I mean, he's playable everywhere.
Yeah, but I think man, he feels like the right play to me. And then I don't mind Mr. Marte either. I talked about Cincinnati against Heaney. He's betting the 6 hole. He's 3K on DraftKings. If he's part of my stat, I don't mind swapping him in there to get a little different. So that's where I am with at third.
All right, take us to short. We did just have a question in chat. If you're playing bets at second on FanDuel, who would be your favorite shortstop to play? So you're playing FanDuel tonight, Will. I'll throw that first to you. And then who do you like at short?
I have Perdomo just because I'm stacking. I got a little mini Arizona stack going. So Perdomo ended up as a part of that. I don't have Mookie on FanDuel for what it's worth. I have Altuve. But if you're on DraftKings, I mean, Mookie's fantastic. You got Ellie here also. I told you, I said I like Perdomo, so Perdomo's a guy that I could get to. I don't mind Jeremy Pena if he's part of your stack at 3,500. I think you got 4 or 5 options here that are all pretty strong at different price points.
Tim, how about you? Who do you like at short?
Yeah, so on FanDuel, that question there about if you're playing Manny at second, who's your favorite shortstop? Well, if you're stacking the Dodgers, Betts and Edman have the same position eligibility. They're both shortstop, second, and outfield. So you could play Tommy Edman at short pretty easily. So that's at least on FanDuel. Tyler Freeman is scratched.
Yeah, so for the wild people like me who actually have a couple Colorado stacks, make sure they don't have Tyler Freeman in them.
Who is he going to be replaced by?
I don't remember what he was playing first. No, he was playing center field.
Right.
So
yeah, that lineup's going to be so ugly.
He will very likely be replaced by Shards in the line. Mickey Moniak, probably.
Yeah, so going back to shortstop, I think Geraldo Perdomo.
Well, unless they put Doyle in there, then that lineup actually gets a lot better. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was actually just thinking that too. Like, if Doyle gets in there, would be a huge upgrade for that team. Perdomo is definitely a strong play in all formats. I think Jeremy Pena across both sites is completely fine. Dansby Swanson, I think I'm not that high on the Cubs, but I think he'd be an interesting one-off. But really, it's so easy to get premium bats today. So I wouldn't fool around in cash games with guys like Swanson. But he's completely fine in tournaments.
Yeah, it is Moniak that they threw in there, so not Brenton Doyle. Upgrade in terms of a bat, but it is a lefty on lefty instead of a righty. Take us into the outfield, Tim.
Yeah, so outfield is just like incredibly loaded today. I'm trying to just save salary where I can so I can get to multiple stud outfielders tonight. Obviously Shohei Ohtani is the best hitter in the world, and it's pretty easy to play him. So I think I would prioritize him in cash games tonight. If you don't want to quite go that high, I think Corbin Carroll would be your next guy in, but it's super close between Carroll and Yordan Alvarez. But those three are your primary 3 tonight. I would try to get to 2 of those in like smaller field contests or cash games, because I just think that they're so far better than the rest of the players on the slate. So, and then obviously you've got guys like Mike Trout, who's going to be fantastic and might get squeezed a little bit in terms of ownership. Same thing with Fernando Tatis. I don't think he's going to go super highly owned. Same thing with Kyle Tucker. So there's some really, really strong premium outfielders tonight that I would just prioritize everywhere. I'm not looking to really spend down at the outfield position. I think the lowest that I went actually was Pavin Smith. I don't even think I went to anybody in the 3K range on a single entry team. or my cash game team.
All right, Will, how about you? Who you like in the outfield?
Yeah, Tim mentioned Mike Trout getting squeezed. I do have Mike Trout in my build on FanDuel for what it's worth. I just don't think he's going to get much ownership today because, I do think you should be playing Corbin Carroll, Ohtani. Those guys should be great. I'm not trying to give my lineup away, but I do have those guys also. I just also have Mike Trout. It was just kind of easy to build on FanDuel for me today in terms of what I saw. So I feel like I got some quality bats. We'll see what happens. Outside of those guys, definitely think that, as parts of your stacks, getting to Pavin Smith out in Arizona, I think is another guy, that Tim already mentioned. You look at these Dodgers, Michael Conforto, not saying he's some elite hitter, but I'm willing to get these guys in. I'm willing to get Teoscar in when I'm stacking this team. You go on out to San Diego, you can get Gavin Sheets in the outfield at 3,100. On DraftKings, which helps you do something a little different there. Also, you got old man Jason Hayward out here. Once again, guys, I'm just kind of trying to help you build stacks. You got TJ Frito leading off lefty. Don't care. It's Andrew Heaney. Dunn. You got he's a cheap one on DraftKings. Like, it's just these are guys that I think you could get in there. Obviously, you should be playing Jordan and. Houston has some cheap guys at the bottom of their order also. And you can get Altuve in the outfield on second on DraftKings if you decide you want to do something a little bit different. But that's where I am, man. I'm just kind of filtering everything in from these stats. But I am playing Mike Trout as a one-off at very low ownership today. And Ohtani. So Ohtani and Trout are like my one-offs. Even Ohtani will be high-owned and Mike Trout won't be. And hopefully I get everything else right.
I do want to just add really quick. Don't forget about Jake Myers at the bottom of that Houston lineup, and don't forget about Alec Thomas too. So those are two cheap guys that I do like for GPPs.
And let me just say this too, TJ. I'm talking about all these big bats, and I still got $400 left in salary today on FanDuel. After all those
FanDuel is so easy to build like a super team of just stud players. Yeah.
All right, let's do a quick recap of pitching. Then we'll get some home run picks. We are only 17 likes away from our fourth Spidey Bomb to go along with Brian Reynolds, Mookie Betts, and Josh Naylor. So keep smashing that like button. Tim, top three pitchers on DK, top three pitchers on FanDuel.
Yeah, so top three on DK would be Brian Wu, Kyle Hart, and I think it would be Andrew Heaney, but Chase Dollander's super close to number three. And then FanDuel, it's Brian Wu, it's Kyle Hart, and I think it would be Chase Dollander for me at 7,400.
Will, how about you? Top three pitchers tonight on FanDuel and DraftKings.
I'm against the grain. I feel like I'm on the outside today, but it's Corbin Burns, it's Kyle Hart, and then it's anybody. I don't like this slate, so maybe Andrew Abbott. It's probably Brian Wu. I'll just call it Brian Wu. I think I like Burns a bit better than everybody else today.
I've seen a few people talking about Gusto in chat. He's probably only going to pitch about 60 pitches. I don't think Gusto is somebody that we can roster on this slate. This is probably going to be closer to a bullpen game than a full start from Gusto tonight. So I don't think we're going to be wanting to go there. All right. Home run picks. Tim, we already got Josh Naylor as one of the taters. We both love some Naylor to hit a home run tonight. Who else you got hitting a homer?
I've got Pavin Smith, plus 450 on DraftKings. And then I don't know what his odds are here. Okay, here we go. Isaac Paredes, plus 550 on DraftKings.
All right, Will, how about you? Who's hitting one out of the park tonight?
Yeah, I don't have the odds because I don't have a sports book. But I'm going out to Houston. Give me Christian Walker. Haven't really seen him pop yet this season, but like this for him. Everybody seems to like Josh Naylor. I'm gonna be on that train also. But give me free money, Freddie, man, against Ben Brown out there with the Dodgers today. But, still in that good lineup spot. Got two of the best hitters in baseball right ahead of him, Shohei and Mookie. Just step right up and swing, sweet swing of the bat, and send one on across the ball for us, Freddie.
All right, I like it. We can start taking some questions, get them into the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. I'll be going there first. More chat about Gusto. It's like, yes, I understand that we're kind of guessing what his pitch count is going to be, but he hasn't thrown more than 50 pitches this year. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. He just has not been fully stretched out. And so it's not really possible for a guy to go 50 straight into 90, something like that. Maybe I feel like your best case scenario, absolute ceiling, would probably be like 70, 72 in this spot. Let's see how close we are for Spidey Bomb number 3. 8 likes away. Keep smashing that like button. I want to give one more Spidey Bomb away before we hit lock here. And let's start getting to some questions. I forgot I actually got to pull Discord up in order to get questions from Discord. But before we do that, it's the perfect time to sign up for RotoGrinders Combo Pro. Why? Because we knocked it down so it's the same price as the MLB DFS annual option of $425. Might as well get more stuff for the same price. Combo Pro for 6 months also gives you access to our content, tools, and projections for every sport except NASCAR at a cheaper price than the monthly package. You'd actually save about 35% by choosing 6 months instead of monthly. Sign up now for MLB projections, NBA content, PGA data, and more. Or you can check out the Props and Pick'em package for a discount. The Props and Pick'em package features daily prop picks and fantasy pick'em selections from many of our favorite RotoGrinders experts. Plus, we're knocking 50% off the price of your first month when you sign up at the link down below. DKGPP, I'm stacking the Dodgers. Muncy and Crow Armstrong or Conforto and Paredes, Tim?
I'd go the second one.
Yeah.
Will, what are your thoughts on Kumar Rocker tonight?
Not thrilled about him, but it's a weird slate. Could absolutely go out there and pick up some Ks, not get beat up too bad, and put up a nice little score.
Got J3 asking about the pitchers and umpires on tonight's slate. We got Corbin Burns with an extreme hitters ump, Brian Wu with an extreme pitchers ump, Sasaki extreme hitters, Ben Brown extreme hitters, Tyler Anderson extreme pitcher, Chad Patrick extreme hitter, Gusto extreme pitcher. A lot of extremes on the slate. Rocker's got an extreme pitcher, neutral for Dollander and Hart, and a hitter's ump for Andrew Heaney and Andrew Abbott today. Tons of extremes. That was kind of surprising to take a look at that. Let's see what else do we got for some QQs here. A lot of takes, but not a lot of questions. Let us know if you got any questions about tomorrow's massive day of NBA, about some MLB tonight, about what we're having for dinner, about some Masters sweats. You let us know. Get those QQs in. Will, who are your top 2 FanDuel stacks for GPP?
Oh man, give me Houston. Give me the Diamondbacks. But on the sneaky end, give me the Reds. Give me the Dodgers. Dodgers aren't really sneaking up, but they're semi-expensive, which should keep the ownership down.
Will, do we got a K of the bidet?
Not really. My K of the bidet would have been earlier, which would have been AJ Smith-Shawver more than 4.5 strikeouts. So that game's already done, and he did clear those 4.5 strikeouts.
Tim, what do you think about unleashing the hounds with some double cheap pitchers tonight?
Yeah, I think that's completely fine.
And then what are your thoughts on stacking Seattle alongside Brian Wu today?
Yeah, I think that's completely fine. I think Seattle's a very sneaky stack.
That's one of the only ways I think I'd want to do Woo in tournaments, just based on how high his ownership has grown, is with a Seattle, with a Angels, a Milwaukee, a Colorado, a team that really nobody is getting to at all today. Will Flying Armbar said he came in late. He's trying to get a team in right now. Who are our top pitchers on FanDuel, and which teams are we stacking? You brought up Houston and Arizona as the top two. Dodgers and the Reds getting a little sneaky. Who are your top pitchers on FanDuel?
Corbin Burns and Kyle Hart, followed by Woo, because everybody else wants to play Woo. I'm not playing Woo on any site for what it's worth. But once again, I'm on the outside today. I guess I'm in my tournament head.
Ruthless Villain says he needs a sneaky stack. The Cubs, my friend. The Cubs. No one's playing them, and they are a very, very sneaky snack tonight with a lot of upside. Warrior King Guru says he likes some Milwaukee tonight. I do too. I like stacking up against Corbin Burns, who has really struggled this year. I think that is a very strong tournament play. J3 asking what I'm having for dinner. Haven't actually thought it out yet. It's only 4:30 here where I am right now. It's early, not on the East Coast. And we had a late brunch. It was like 2 p.m., but I made pancakes at about 2 p.m. today, just because that's how our schedule worked out. So I haven't really thought about dinner yet. Actually, I think that'll do it for today's shows. We are out of QQs. We'll get out of here about 5 minutes before lock. We got all the lineups that we need. As my guy Will likes to say, we're going to put a little bit of time in your day. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody. Smash the like button on your way out. And we'll see you again tomorrow for a double combo NBA MLB show. On behalf of myself, Tim, and Will, we'll see you next time. Peace.